So we ready to move on? Yes, no? All right. So the other thing we talk about is actually character, isn't it? This is part of the other reason. Remember, we can affect someone's value and belief by altering the capability level. And the other aspect is we can alter a character of persistence. This is actually a habits of mind strategies. We actually developed this for HOM on how we can actually use this to help students to think in a manner that will support them to build persistency in them. Okay? Now, I must tell you honestly first, yeah? Now, in order for persistency to work, for this strategy to work, right, what must the participant be? They must be committed, right? Therefore, the activity will require them to be what? Persistent. Now, a lot of people like to talk about this sort of strategy, but they don't put them in the right experience. If you want someone to have an experience of resilience, then the activity got to have a lot of setback. Right? There got to be a lot of failure and there's a lot of prizes to pay, then they get really tired. Do I want to go? Do I don't want to go? You need that kind of experience. So when we talk about concrete experience, right, one of the things I noticed some facilitators are not paying attention to is whether the experience matches what the learning is about. It's very tough to talk about resilience when you just ask them to sit down and do some writing. Really difficult. Now, even in the domain of resilience, right, we can talk about emotional resilience, mental resilience, physical resilience. Right? Out of these three, which one is the easiest to do? You have mental, emotional, physical. Which one is the easiest to do? Normally physical. That's why you see vendors like us come in, we get the students to do exercise when they are doing the activity. Part of it, right, is to let them feel tired. Now, you can't talk about resilience until they are tired. Is this making sense? So, for you to experience this strategy later, you'll get a little bit frustrated. Not too bad, just a little bit. Yeah, with the student, I can drag them for 4 hours, one game, and they just fail and fail and fail and fail and fail until 4 hours later. This strategy is in them straight away. Okay? So we use a rock metaphor. It's actually a metaphor. We have a story behind the whole rock thing, but I'm just going to focus on the strategies now. All right. R will stand for relook. That means examine what you have just done. All right. If you make a mistake, you fail, relook. Look at what you have just done. Try to then look for different options that you can do. Right? Then out of the different options, you will need to choose one method. Go and do it. Does it guarantee the method will always work? No. Then what you do? You keep going. All right. Once you keep going, you come back. Not working. What do? You relook. Then you examine what other options you have not tried, and then you choose one of it, and then you go again. So this is what we call a rock strategy. Can? Okay. Are you ready to play now? You get a little bit frustrated, but that's part of it, yeah. But I won't get you all too upset. Okay. So we'll need to look at the folks around you and divide yourself into 3 groups. Can? Alright, so we have about 22, 23 people, so about 6, 7 per group. Alright, quickly look around. You want to look for people that you want to. Alright, great, let's go. Okay, now I'm going to explain the next game. Before I explain, can I ask you, if I'm going to do another game, can I still do ideal? Yes, I can still do ideal, right? To make sure they internalize it. But for now, we're not going to focus on ideal, we're going to focus on rock. Now I'm going to tell you how the game is going to be played. Alright, this game is called Magic Ring or Slingy, whatever you like to call it. Now the objective of this game, right, is to tumble this slingy down from the first person to the last person without the slingy dropping out. Okay, let me repeat. The objective, the task objective is for this slingy to tumble from the first person palm down, 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 down until the last person. If you complete this challenge, you win. Okay? Now I'm going to explain to you how you're going to play next. Yeah? Now, each of you will be using your palm as the base. Alright? Now, to make it a bit easier for you, you're allowed to use 2 palms together. Yeah? When I do with the student, it's 1 palm. You will see nightmare coming up when you do 1 palm. Right? So you're allowed to use 2 palms as a base. There will be a starter. The starter will start the slingy running. And if it successfully reaches the last person and tumble up, you complete the challenge. Alright, question? Yes, ma'am. Yes, you go by in the however you arrange your people.
So he's the last time.
But everybody got to be in between. Thank you. Yeah, so everybody will be involved. Yeah. All right. Question. Demo. Demo. I will give you this to try. Don't worry. Question. Okay.
Yeah. No, must be over there.
Over there.
There must be a height. Otherwise, okay, so you know, this first
And the
this here.
no, I think it's because ours is not straight. It should be straight like a staircase. Yeah. Okay.
Stop. Stop.
Oh, must tilt a bit. Okay, very tilt.
Yes.
It's okay. It's all right. Don't worry.
We look. Alright.
Okay, we choose the same way.
Something like this.
Okay. We look at the method. If it's not working, and we look at the method. Then option. Up to you.
The shorter the distance, the less inertia it has. So it has to be more distance for it to carry on.
Keep going.
Yeah, so that means whoever is the next has to be much longer here.
Yeah, must be much longer.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you must. You cannot feel the whole your hand.
Yeah, you must touch everybody.
Oh. Yeah, you're starting, you don't need to.
You started only.
Slowly.
Hey, you know now, you go, okay, I go. Can I've been doing it.
I think
I think the first one must be
Let's
higher.
relook again.
Yeah, I think everybody has
Actually,
No, the distance
this skill when you play on the staircase is flat, so you don't have to tilt.
Yeah.
The only thing is it requires inertia.
right.
Which means the only
Physics
the
teacher.
only
Yeah, should be
Inertia. You gotta sling it down, yeah?
That's the first person who do. Okay, then we test the last.
Then just be careful, alright?
I think you don't tilt, you don't just keep straight.
Let it bounce.
Yeah. It will come down and bounce out. Yeah. Don't tilt.
I'm an end early.
Okay.
Now your hair is too small.
although momentum is there, now the thing is catching.
That's a genius. That's a genius move.
I'll go lower.
Okay. You can start. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Almost there. It's almost there.
Yeah, this is good. Tiring to be starting.
Nope, didn't work.
Okay, I think your hand go lower. Otherwise,
You want to slow?
no, it's okay.
No.
Yeah. You know what? I shouldn't run back.
Yeah, you just wait. Once it goes past, you can go.
Yeah.
Good.
Why will we stop?
Oh, wait.
Okay, rethink. Yeah.
It's an equipment problem.
Yeah.
Now you succeed. Don't worry.
Are you serious?
You succeed. Don't worry. See, got it?
You got that?
Yes.
Alright, now you're going to try with, that means you got to travel through every single palm, which is the actual challenge. The actual challenge is travel through every single palm.
Every single palm.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Now we're done.
Every single palm. You'll be a different challenge if you do that.
Yes, I know.
It's just different without the sit-up.
Sorry? There's a lot of difference. Once the kids do the
I know what you
this is a totally different
You'll be so tired, then you come back
Yeah,
again
you
like
come
this.
back tired, then consistency makes sense at that point of time. So now it's not.
So you say that there's no sit-up, that's why they're not doing well.
They're not serious about trying.
You make like this. You just make
But you lower than you leh. Yeah. Cannot see like you leh. Once that started, it well. I won't be. I can't be lower than you.
I think the distance.
I think you can see I have to do this. No, unless you see me.
Alright, stop. Everyone please give your team members a big hand for playing. And have a seat. Let's talk about it for a while. Well done.
Some will interpret this right, that I don't.
Is there a lot of difference without the sit-up? Yeah, because when every time they try, they need to do sit-up, right? Every attempt, they will actually think. They will definitely reload. They won't, let's try that, never mind, let's try. Yeah? So in order to have persistency, if you are working around character, for example, you want to work on character of care, empathy and stuff like this, you got to make sure that the activity you're doing, right, will bring across the experience. Now you all just did a slingy pass without sit-up. Most of you say, not so difficult, right? You just, then after a while you get tired. Yes, ma'am.
I'm just thinking, for students who finish the sit-up and maybe a few rounds, then they give up, so what do you do to students like
Yeah.
that? You still encourage
Yeah,
them?
I will still encourage, keep going. That's part of persistency. So I will repeat it to them. Yeah. Will the student give up? The answer is yes. And that's the whole point, right? If you are not planning to give up, you really do not need persistency. It's only when you say, shit, I really want to stop. That is where it kicks in. Whether are you persistent about taking on challenges. Of course, the game needs to be interesting enough. Yeah. So I'm just doing a variation with you. We have a whole set of quite long ones. Yeah, one of the game we play is a horizontal spider web. Where the team travel through the spider web horizontally, where they need to lift people over. You can play for 4 hours. 4 hours. Just one game. The games was used to impart commitment, resilience, motivation. Because exactly like what you mentioned, about 1 hour plus, a lot of the participants, I don't want to do this anymore. And we say, this is exactly where you need motivation, right? If you want to do it, you already have motivation. It's when you don't want to do it anymore, you need the motivation. So then the team put together, they strategize, and then they say, let's do it. Make sense? Yeah. So it's very different when you don't have the experience of persistency when I talk about this. But if you need to do the sit-up just now, right, it will be a whole new game. Okay? Are we good? Alright. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do next. Think of a character that you want to instill in your students, and think of a few steps that you can use it. And then later we hear from different people so that you go back, right? Character development is such a big thing. At least you went back with a few mental strategies that you can use with your students. Can? Alright, let's take 2 to 3 minutes work with the person beside you. Pick one character you want to work on and what are the strategies you can use. Alright, let's go. We've done that before, we've done excellent before. Student really cute, but it's fun.
Understanding of what is the consequence of the action.
Consequential learning.
Something that works.
He would have had to have a group for a long time and build a relationship with our staff. Yes. Do you mind asking whether it's possible to bring in more friends?